Hello, all of my beautiful, stunning, mentally ill besties. How are you doing today? We reached 1,500 subscribers, and I've got my strawberry frog milk shirt on and my 2000s pajama pants, and that inspired me to want to do some nails and talk about some stuff. I hope you like the look. I hope you like the makeup. I will show you my outfit. It is kind of cold right now, and I'm the only one home, so we're rocking the pajama pants and, like I said, strawberry frog milk shirt. I think it's a pretty cute look. Also, obviously I'm not going anywhere. I'm just filming YouTube video. Bruh. Literally just charged my phone before this, and now it's telling me it's at 20%. So let's get going. First, like I said, I'm going to do these gloomy bear nails. I was gonna originally, oh yeah, my autofocus is off. I was going to originally do some super long nails, but I just hate super long nails. Anyone who ever tells you that long nails are easy to manage must be a wizard, because for me it's like impossible. So if you can't tell, I'm feeling a lot better, and that's mostly just because I've had time to process and time to deal with things. So I wanted to bring that up because it's always super nice to feel better and to just get past like hard times, stuff like that. I don't want to talk about that too much, because this video, even though it is just like a nail video, which I'm gonna get into, I promise, this is what I kept my nail glue in. You want to see what else is in there? I don't know if YouTube will get mad at me for saying what that is. Not only is it a nail video, but I also want to talk about the state of decay, the state of music, and more specifically rock music, because this is going to be in the emo series, I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet. That's why I didn't put the playlist up, but I'm going to after I do this video. The state of music, and more specifically the state of rock and roll music. And this does come from my unprofessional, non-advanced. I dabble in music, but I wouldn't call myself like a musician yet. So this is just kind of my opinion based on the things that I have seen throughout the years, and also past music, current music, how it has changed over the years, different genres, how they've morphed and shifted. We've got like popular, like mainstream rock, and then also like not as mainstream things, that just the whole shebang. It'll make sense when we start to talk about it, but I gotta start my nails first. I literally just broke my glue, so honestly I just improvised, but I don't know how long I have before the glue dries out. So basically, I usually just do one nail on a hand at a time. I don't like to do like one hand and then the other hand. It's just way easier to do one nail at a time, because like I can't explain it, but it works. And these are like my favorite nails ever. I got them from Five Below. I like to use this little UV light because it always seems to make the glue just stick a little bit better. I don't know if that's just like my stupid brain or what. Before I get into the music, because this video is already almost 5 minutes long. So, okay. I was looking at my analytics the other day, and I noticed that a lot of my subscribers, there's mostly women, some guys, which is kind of cool. And then I thought that there were a lot of younger people following me before I checked my analytics. And then when I checked, I realized that most of you are like 18 to 24 or whatever it says, which is really cool because we can be a little bit more comfortable here. It is nice knowing that most of you are closer to my age. Not that any of you young people watching aren't welcome. It's just I'm a grown-up, so it's cool that like people around my age are watching me. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna move to the next nail because I think the glue might dry out in the bottle. You see what I'm dealing with right here? And I just have to like kind of pour it onto the nail. I'm a professional. Okay, so, oh my god. So I'm running out of time and I'm getting glue all over my hands, so I want to start talking about the subject of this video. So this is all obviously my opinion and not me saying that there is no good modern music, or more specifically good modern rock music. It's just, and this is a completely biased opinion, okay? Like 100% biased. But for me personally, I grew up in a very amazing time for music, and like emo and alternative and screamo and rock music and new metal, like that was the time for that stuff, regardless of what, I mean, obviously like the 70s and 80s, all that were super influential for rock, but for the specific like alternative rock that a lot of alt people love nowadays, that was like the golden days. That was like the standard for good music, rock music, regardless of like the genre you enjoy. Maybe not metal, but I don't know very much about metal, so I don't know. What I can tell you though is that we were all very spoiled by the music that we had available to us at the time. And with something like MySpace, it really like shot just like music that you would never otherwise know or expect to hear into the mainstream. MySpace is the whole reason that Panic at the Disco like became famous. I don't know if a lot of people know that. I'm not a really big Pierce the Veil. Oh my god, I'm a huge Pierce the Veil fan. They're like my favorite band. Sometimes they compete with MCR for my favorite band, which has me questioning everything because MCR has been my favorite band like my entire existence. So yeah, Panic at the Disco got their start on MySpace, and it was a big platform for a lot of good music and a lot of bad music, like Jeffree Star and Blood on the Dance Floor. Sorry if you like them, but it's just a joke, so calm down. But yeah, golden age of alternative music and all of the different genres of alternative music, okay? So you'd think that over time music would advance and get better, especially with something like technology, with the rise of internet and social media, right? MySpace catapulted people into fame. So with things like TikTok and other social medias, you would think that music would just be exploding everywhere and it'd be amazing. But with the introduction of all of these different kinds of social medias, I personally, again, this is me personally, I am not a professional. It seems to me that there's become a huge oversaturation problem. The market has over time gotten very saturated, and as the market saturates, it seems that there is more and more. When something does become big, that's alternative music, it's very safe, it's very mainstream, it's very normalized. God, I almost honestly want to say that it's more like brand friendly. That's one of the major issues. Not calling anybody specifically out, it's just the way it sounds and the way that most music is released, even by good ass artists. It's like it has to be in this bubble in order to be successful or to become viral, which is another thing. A lot of music is made for TikTok, okay? Can we talk about the radio for like 2 seconds? I honestly don't know about you, but I have heard the same songs on the radio my entire life, and then since I was a teenager, a lot of the singles that we grew up with, like I'm always making this joke about Gives You Hell from All American Rejects. I love All American Rejects. They were one of the first bands that I got into. Their first album is still a stunning album, but I always talk about if I have to hear Gives You Hell one more time, I just want to like my eyeballs to explode, or I guess more appropriately my ears, because it's like there's so much damn good music in the world and there's so much good alternative. Put a pin in that because I want to come back to that. I had to move my mirror. Okay. It's like, how many times can you play Mr. Brightside? How many times do we have to hear the Black Parade? And I understand most people don't listen to the radio, but don't you think they would listen more if good songs came out, if new like rock songs came out, if the same rock stations or even just general radio stations weren't playing the same thing that they've been playing for 25 years? That shit gets so frustrating to me, especially when there are new artists and there is good music out there. It's like, I hate that radio is just stuck with like singles. I understand it, I get how it works, but it also is so frustrating. And I understand everybody's got to make their money, but like, don't you think radio might be a little bit more successful if they tried more often to frequent newer or more artists? Like, I gotta be honest with you guys. I love emo music. I really do. But listening to a lot of that music nowadays, I can't anymore. I've heard it so many times for the past 15, 16, 17, whatever years. I just want to clarify and be real here. Obviously, this is first world problems. I am obviously fortunate enough to sit in the comfort of my home and complain about having too much music to listen to, but it is sad sometimes, and that's what brings me to the death of rock music. And I'm just calling it that to be dramatic. I don't think that rock music will ever die. I think there will always be a place in humanity's heart for garage bands and small bands that kids start in high school and middle school. I did it. It was not very successful. I knew a lot of kids who did it, and it's just it's a part of human nature. So that aside, rock music is in such a weird place today. I'm using way too much glue. These are gonna pop off, and not in a good way. But does anyone still say that? Rock music is in a really sad state, guys. Like, it is brutal out here to hear a good new song. And I'm not saying there's not any. I get it. Back to the alternative thing for a second. I wanted to talk about like so many emo nights and so many like emo playlists or scenecore playlists have the same, I messed my hair up, have the same god dang songs over and over and over again. And I'm gonna tell you something. That's not all the music that we had back in the day, okay? It is not. One, there's a lot of deep cut shit that you can't find anymore, or like independent artists that were very small who just had their music on MySpace or whatever, you can't find anymore. But also, there are other songs than singles, man. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't know if it's people who are just experiencing the emo nostalgia and never really listen to these albums, but there are so many more songs than singles, man. The Killers have so many more good songs than Mr. Brightside. But I digress, okay? One thing I wanted to touch on is that if you listen to a lot of bands who maybe were popular back in the day, aside from My Chemical Romance, but like, let's say you listen to Paramore, but you only listen to their old stuff, and you don't want to delve into their new album because you just don't, I don't know why people don't, but like, give it a shot, you know? There's not just Misery Business, there's not just Decode, like, their new album, I think it is called This Is Why, it's really good. I love that album. I haven't listened to it in a few months. I gotta admit, I have to be in like the right mood for it. And I was smelling my fingers for glue. Is it what we had back when we were kids in the Warped Tour days? No, but it's really good. Pierce the Veil has a new album, Jaws of Life. My light's gonna go out. I hope that's on the setting it was before. But yeah, Jaws of Life from Pierce the Veil, an amazing album, literally one of my favorite albums, and it's from 2021, 2022, I don't know. Jaws of Life, I saw the tour for that, and It's an amazing, amazing album. That one I actually do listen to a lot, and I just listened to it the other day because it's one of my favorites. And who else was I gonna say? Oh, The Used. They're constantly coming out with new albums. They just had a new album a couple years ago, and they have a new one now. So if you like those bands, support the music that they make now, because if they don't get support, then they're not gonna do music anymore. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, with rock music, it just really feels like we're at this kind of standstill. Nothing has really been happening that's been making waves in rock music. One of the cooler artists that I've really found was Dracula, because they like to add just, I don't know if you've listened to them, but they like to add so many different influences from genres into their music. They are very heavily inspired by nu metal, Korn, and stuff like that. They have they do amazing shit in their songs. I particularly love them, and I'd say that's one of the closer newest really cool things that I've seen. Obviously, again, amazing bands out there. I listen to new stuff, but with rock music as a whole, it's really come to a standstill, and there's just not much going on in it. A lot of the stuff that comes out sounds really recycled, really regurgitated. I don't know where punk is. I don't know what punk's doing. It's not on the radio. And I'm not a heavy music searcher. I should look more, especially from talking so passionately about it. That's my bad. But there's just not a lot of representation. I'd say, for me personally, from what I've experienced secondhand, the genres that seem to be doing the best are country and rap. And I'm not sure about country because it's yeah, but rap kind of always seems to really stay on its game. So I have nothing to say about it. I mean, we had the great mumble rap debacle of a few years ago, but rap always stays on top. There's always new, innovative, cool shit coming out, and we're just not getting that in rock. For me, one of the ways that I cope with this is I found Hyperpop, and to me, Hyperpop is literally just scenecore but modernized, and that's so fun, and it's so fresh, and it's just exciting, and it's a good time. It really reminds me of a lot of the scenecore music that we used to have back in the day that was really silly and over the top and crazy. That is Hyperpop. I've heard Hyperpop songs. I think the artist's name is Parker, but they literally have a song where they cover part of Hey There Delilah in it. There is some amazing music out there that is very similar to what used to be, but that's not, I mean, Hyperpop is new, but it's also not very big, because you either love it or you think it's the most annoying thing in the world. I personally love it. I'm also working on making my own kind of Hyperpop scene. I'm trying to talk with my hands so you can see the nails, Anyway, yeah, it just sucks, okay? I am running out of space, but yeah, rock music has been around for such a long time, and it's just really sad to see it in this dry spell where there's not really a lot going on, and there's not really anything new or innovative happening with it. There is this one band, Polyphia, that I really enjoy because they don't have any singing in the band. I'm sure you probably heard of them if you like guitar music, but they're really funky and good music that you could just put on in the background. It gets crazy, super talented, super, super talented. So you can definitely find it out there, but it's hard in 2023. And if I could go back to the oversaturation thing, like I said, you'd think that social media and having so many platforms and even having so much access to instruments and tools online to make music would make music better. Also, with the introduction of AI, now you can just make music without having to make it. But it's done something to music that it's lost a lot of soul. It's become very commercialized, and I think this is, as a whole, pop music's always been really commercialized, but now it's super commercialized, and rock is just not doing well. I mean, we've only had it for less than 100 years generally, and there's a lot of people talking about its downfall, and I think that is really depressing and really sad, and I wish I knew how to play guitar, but all I know how to do is kind of barely a little bit play the keyboard. I just got so much glue on my fingers. I'm so irritated. I was done. Okay, well, and I just got more on them. God. So yeah, it's just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everything's fucked and everybody sucks or whatever the fuck My Chemical Romance said. So I wish there was a lot more innovation with it. I wish that more mainstream gave it a chance. I mean, it was on top in the early 2000s, and we haven't had that resurgence in a long time, and a lot of the old bands are coming out with good stuff or not so good stuff. I mean, there's bands still on top of the world, Fall Out Boy, Green Day, but it's not how it used to be. You know, we've got things like When We Were Young tour, and we've got like MCR and The Used are going to be in the same location this year. Like, do you understand how monumental that is to somebody like me? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But at the end of the day, it's still not how it was. Rock owned the radio back in the day, and nowadays I can't even stand listening to the radio because, like, it's Sweet Home Alabama, and if you change the station, it's fucking American Idiot. Just over and over and over. And I understand that people listen to streaming services now, as do I. But at least rap stations put new music on the platform, like, and pop stations are always just sharing the latest TikTok song. That's all they do. So, like, what's up, rock radio? Like, what is going on? What is going on is rock music as a whole? What is going on with music as a whole? Like, this shit sucks lately, dude. It really does. And I don't mean to be biased like that and put everything under one big umbrella, but music has been sucking for a few years, and it's terrifying with AI coming around because it's just going to get more saturated. So it's just going to get, like, more convoluted and weird, and I just hope it becomes trendy again to, like, make a band in the garage with your friends, because that is what we need. We need some sad fucking emo boys, and not making mumble rap. That's just a joke. If you make mumble rap, I'm sure you're amazing, and it's there for somebody. Like, there's a lot of, I noticed, e-boy like rap is also really similar. I can't remember the name of it right now because I haven't listened to it in a while. But e-boy rap's really similar to a lot of emo music. Like, you gotta dig to find some stuff that goth boy click shit, like things you wouldn't think of. Like, there's a lot of rappers out there who use the screamo influences and use the emo lyrics, but it's in kind of like rap songs. So it's like, on one hand, I'm so grateful that we had this, like, emo alt revival resurgence. It's so cool. But on the other hand, I really wish there was a musical resurgence with that. We've gotten some decent stuff, but it's just not the way that it used to be. And I don't want to see rock music die. That's really depressing. I just want to see it take a step forward. Something. MCR, give us a new album, maybe? I'm just kidding, but yeah, it is depressing and it is sad, and I wanted to talk about it because I think about it constantly, because I got music brain and I've been making music again, and it's just like, I want to talk to people about it because I know other people feel this way, and I just hope that we can save rock and roll before it completely dies, because that would just be devastating, especially with a lot of the, like, classic rock bands getting so old and dying nowadays because they're like 5 million years old, and then our favorite bands becoming old men and becoming too tired. And that's another thing. Like, I don't want to talk too much about this, but, like, some modern bands that were around back in the day, like, their stuff's just not that good. I'm not talking about anybody in particular. It's just, we need some new rock music. We need some good rock music. Don't make me make it myself because I don't know how to play guitar. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about it, because it's just something I think about all the time. I love music so much, and I love rock music. I just get I just get tired of listening to the same songs over and over again. So if you're in a bit of a music slump like I've been the past few months, years, decades, just my advice is try going back to old stuff that you enjoyed, not just the singles, people, okay? The albums. Listen to the albums, the old ones too. I know a lot of y'all out there don't want to listen to MCR's old album, and you should. And, or like Pierce the Veil's first album. I'm sure a lot of people have listened to that. I'm just giving advice. But yeah, try old stuff, try out something new, like Hyperpop. If you really love scenecore, listen to Hyperpop. You will get what I'm talking about literally immediately. If you've ever heard that Sugar Crash, Sugar Crash. Yeah, if you've ever heard that song and you've ever heard Hello Goodbye, put the two together and you'll see what I'm talking about. But just, let's try to continuously expand our musical horizons and not let something as amazing as like alternative rock, emo, indie music, screamo music like that, let's not let it die out because we're just safe listening to the same shit that we've been listening to for like 45 years because it's getting old, it's getting stale, and I'm sorry y'all, but these emo nights are gonna die quick if it's always just the same songs for the rest of eternity, because I know there's people out there who know more songs from the Pierce the Veil album than King for a Day. So definitely gonna have to edit this video down because I've been talking for a very long time and my last video was super long too, so not me trying to get the thumbnail though. I hope you liked the nails. I hope you liked the little rant about music. And I'm so excited to be back. I'm so excited to be feeling better. I'm so excited that things are doing better. I've got lots of plans. I've got lots of stuff coming out. Check out my Instagram and my TikTok because I've been posting on there like crazy because I'm back. I'm also working on new music, which was what kind of stemmed this whole video idea conversation. So I have to leave now, even though I don't want to. My camera did not just stop on me at my outro. Okay, I said I love you guys so much, and I am stoked to be back. Welcome, everybody. I hope you like it here. I am having a good time, and I'm just so happy to be back here. So I'm gonna go now. I love you. Bye.